Hey folks, the Fitness Vlogger here, and today I'm going to be talking about gender roles, and specifically the male gender role, because oftentimes, that is the first gender role that I really think of, especially since that is what applies to me. And you'll have to excuse if you randomly hear scratching, because my kitten is trying to eat the table because we can't let her have the regular cat food, and she's too lazy to go to my room to eat the kitten food. So if I randomly pick her up, that is why. But here's a serious topic. Gender roles, specifically the masculine gender role. The masculine gender role, again, although, warning, I do not have any notes in front of me like I usually do. This is just me going off on a rant, me talking about serious issues that, are wrong with every single gender role, because I think they should all be smashed to little bits and pieces, tossed in the trash, and then decimated in an incinerator. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. I am not diminishing any women's issues when I'm speaking in this video. That is a warning right now. And I'm going to mention trigger warning. I will also be mentioning rape culture and sexual assault and trigger warnings and stuff like that. So that is your trigger warning right now. If you are sensitive to that kind of stuff, please leave right now. I do not want to trigger you, and I want to make this as accessible to everyone as possible. So, into the video. So, what I find with the gender roles of a man is often, first of all, it's very sexualized. As a man, I have the gender role. If I were to follow the gender role, which I do not, obviously, I'm wearing makeup, I'm very feminine, and I'm pretty proud of that. But if I were to follow the gender role implies that I am a very, that men are supposed to be very masculine, very, work out in the gym all the time, they're very sexual, and that sex is, a lot of all they think about. And it certainly isn't true, and it shouldn't be expected, because a lot of times men aren't like that. Especially if you think about the asexuals in the community, the queer people and the queer men in anybody who is not who is not straight and very sexual is often very feminized and belittled in this very sexual culture of the gender role that is to be a man. If you're gay, it's often seen as a very feminine thing, and in a previous video I have said that being feminine is bad according to society, which is completely unfortunate, and we can talk about that in another video when I talk about the feminine gender role. But the thing is, if you're not sexual, that you are belittled as a person because you do not, think about teenagers in school. If you are a junior in high school and you're a virgin, and you're a guy, you are likely to be teased for being a virgin, because you are supposed to be this very sexual person, this very sexual being, and that's not what it should be. That's not what the culture of men should be. And also, what this does, it also kind of takes this claim of any guy who has been sexually assaulted, because yes, men can sexually assault men, women can sexually assault men, and so essentially anybody can sexually assault anybody, but men are less likely to speak up, and are less likely to speak up than women, and the rate that women speak up is already really low because of how seriously claims are taken. So if a man is sexually assaulted or is raped, men are more often likely to kind of keep it hidden. And that is because in the world they are seen as very sexual creatures, and it's not fair to them as a victim of sexual assault that they have to keep quiet, because court system isn't going to take them seriously most of the times, because they don't even take women seriously. So why are they going to take men, sexual creatures, seriously? And it's completely unfair that rape is seen as this thing of you get 6 months for. We all know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah. If you've seen the news, you know exactly who I'm talking about when I say 6 months for rape. I mean, come on. Now, that being said, beyond rape and sexual assault and all of that, there are problems with the way that people approach the gender role of men with emotions, because oftentimes in the sexualized world, in this very masculine world, it's not strong to show emotions. It's not strong to talk about your feelings. It's not strong to be human. It is human to feel emotions and to cry sometimes and to feel pain and to be depressed and all of that stuff. A lot of times you see positivity for women, for body positivity, and that, and you don't see the same thing for men a lot of times, because women, it is okay to say something like real women have curves, or real women, and then, or a post, so if you see a post on Tumblr about a woman body positivity, that's more widely accepted than seeing a body positivity post about men, because men have this ideal standard to be ripped, have six-pack abs, have the deepest voice, have really, really big guns, you know? And it's not fair to the weaker guys like me who really don't want to spend all their time in a gym, who want to do feminine things, who want to spend their time doing other things than working out to impress their partners or whoever you're attracted to. And it's unfair just to be forced to go by that ideal standard, whereas women are more happily approached with body positivity. Also, emotional support, as I said before, with depression, oftentimes you're less likely to hear about the emotional health of men. And it's just this unhealthy culture, because there are often really high levels of suicide rates for men, because they are less likely to say their emotions, or go to a therapist, or talk about self-harm. And everybody should have the same support level when they say, oh, I've been self-harming, because men, they're told to, oh, man up. Well, what if someone lost their job? Your boss is not gonna. I'm almost quoting a poem that I absolutely love. 10 responses to the phrase man up, which I really suggest you look up on YouTube, by the way. But one of the things I love that he says is, man up. The boss that just fired you is not going to care how much you can lift, okay? And I love that phrase, because in some situations you can't just say man up, because because being able to lift some weights and be strong and womanize someone is not going to help you in emotional situations where you just lost your job or you just got broken up with. You need to be able to have an emotional relationship with a buddy, with a friend, and feel like you can be open and talk about your emotions. And in this culture, in this gender role that the society has created for men, you can't do that. And that leads to more men choosing to commit suicide than to talk about their emotions and be seen as less of a man. Because your strength is supposed to be the only thing that anybody sees, and it's like your emotions, you're supposed to hide them away. You're supposed to hide them away, and it's a problem amongst women as well. And also when as I'm talking about these issues with the masculine gender role, I am not saying that these are not problems for women. I'm going to make a totally different video about that, so do not worry. The whole concept of this video, this whole gender role, is toxic masculinity. I know I've made a video on it, but so if you really want to put a word to it, toxic masculinity. This is such a horrible concept to have to force yourself into, and to have to force your son into, and it is a shame that in this country, not just in this country, but in the society that we live in, we are automatically assuming that, first off, that your son or your brother or your best friend is going to be straight. So it's the fact that we gender even babies. And I don't say that, and I don't mean in like, oh, that's a boy and a girl, because I can understand why you just want to kind of simplify it for them. But I mean, like, when you are assuming the sexuality of a child, not even a 2-year-old, like if a 2-year-old boy even looks at a girl, even looks at his aunt, He's gonna be like, oh, he's gonna be such a ladies' man. Well, what if that kid turns out to be gay? You don't know that, and you're assuming things just because you are assuming this is going to be a cis heterosexual child that you're raising, and that's just the whole problem in this whole society, not just with the gender role, but especially with men. You find that that the masculinity is often you're feminized for being gay when that's because being gay is seen as less, and it is seen as less because it is feminine, and being feminine is seen as less, which I have mentioned in another video, which I think went up last time. I don't know. I've just there's so many things wrong with the gendering of everything, and it's so upsetting that it's like you have to be making a video about it. I don't know. If you want to hear someone who's much more well spoken about it than me, although I do think that I kind of spoke about it pretty well, at least from my perspective, that then I would check out Claudia something. She talks about it really well. But I think I'm going to leave this video off there because I'm going to be recording another one. Yay! But if you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you would like to see more Dimmick videos twice a week, Monday and Wednesday. If you think a friend should see this, needs to see this, or would just enjoy watching it, please share this with them. If this will help even one person kind of accept that you don't have to be this traditional masculine role, you can be this very feminine guy, like me. It's okay. Then share this with them. I want to spread this as far as the world can see. I want to help support as many people, and I hope this helped someone, even if it's only one person. So, if you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you'd like some more Dimmick videos twice a week, Monday, Wednesday. Please share this. I'm sure they would appreciate it, as would I. So, without further ado, I hope you have a good day. Don't be afraid to join Folklore, and I will see you in the next video.